I'm back again, and I'm in uncharted territory because I've taken a leap into the world of the Turbo 2. So you see before you what I believe is a Z1055. These are completely new to me, really, this model. I didn't have much experience of them when they were out at the time. I have used one. Well, I say I've had a quick go on a 1020 a couple of months ago. But yeah, they were never really in the range or the era that I was interested in with my Electrolux collecting, because to me these are 90s machines. I didn't really know much about them, and I've tried to learn a little bit in sort of the last few weeks. I picked this up purely and simply because it came with quite a few spares. It was on Facebook Marketplace and it was about 2 hours away from home. I got the time to go and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go early, get it. Got loads of brush strips and things like that. Perfect stuff that you just can't buy, the gold dust nowadays. Got this home and I thought, actually, let's do the usual. Let's give it a tart up. Let's sort its motor out, give it a bath, do all the things that I would normally do with my vacuum collection and just see how it performs. Well, let's just say it's kind of blown my mind a bit because it is so powerful, considering it's a 550 watt motor. It's nothing, you know, 4 figures or anything like that, but it works unbelievably well. It's a little bit noisy, and I think it might be due to the fact that the brush strips that I've put in this are from a pattern roller. So probably a year ago I ordered a replacement roller, I think for my 560, either 560 or 550, because they're different rollers to the earlier machines. This is the same type of roller that fits this. I think it's the same for the 400 series as well. But I've got this pattern roller and it's too big. It won't fit. When it's got the caps on, it won't actually fit into the hoods of these vacuums. So it just shows that genuine is best. But I took this brush strips out because they were removable and put them into this one with its original brush roll. So I thought, bargain. So that might have something to do with the noise, but who cares about a bit of noise when it performs as well as this does. It's quite good because it's got 3 positions for its head height. So down for short pile, getting in between, and then raised up for high pile. And it's a bit like with the 560 and 550, where you've got the spring attachment. So it's pretty similar underneath. The only difference, or the main difference that I spotted, is you get a slightly shorter hose, which plugs into this bizarre arrangement here on the sole plate. And there's what used to be like a little set of wheels and a small pedal is this whole back bit with the wheels attached to it. Now, I have a hubcap this side, but I don't that side. So I'm undecided as to whether to just leave it as it is or take that off so that they both match. I've looked around for spares. I've asked my favourite sellers on eBay. They haven't got any, so it's not the end of the world. Same old kind of arrangement for the tools at the back. Got the nice creamy yellow suction control. I think this is probably another one that's faded, although it looks very 80s in this sort of yellowy cream. I suppose, what was the equivalent that was out? Was it the 610? From the 600 series, the more basic model. That would have been like whitish grey, but a lot of those that you see, well, not that you see many of them, they go this similar kind of colour. So I guess that retro Brighton malarkey would probably do the trick, but I actually quite like it like this. It makes it look quite different. Basic on and off switch, chunky handle, and the same setup at the back with the cord storage hook and handle, quick release for the cable. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but can you see underneath Electrolux, there's a little mark there, like a V, with a line through the middle. The lady that I bought this from, she pointed it out to me. She said the reason that's on there is because it's come from military quarters, like living quarters. And I can't remember what she said. Was it her father was it in the forces, and when he left, he bought this, took it with him, and it lasted a good while after that. So I have seen that mark on furniture in antique places and stuff, and I've said to people, why has it got a scratch on the leg or wherever? And they're like, oh, I don't know, this must be somebody did it on purpose. And now that I've had it explained to me, it makes sense, because effectively this range and this whole like 500 series type machine was standard in the military, in the accommodation, you know, the family quarters or whatever. And they come up a lot in auction for, you know, ex-military, ex-forces type stuff. That there's always this style or earlier comes up for sale. It made me wonder, because obviously we have like the Royal Warrant on the hood there, along with the lovely twin turbo system Turbo 2 Super, which is wearing off a bit. But we've got the Royal Warrant, and I understand that to have the Royal Warrant meant that the machines would have to be used in the royal household. Well, did that extend to like the Royal Armed Forces? Maybe that's why they had the warrant with Electrolux, because I can't really imagine Prince Philip or the Queen or Princess Margaret wheeling one of these around, or their minions. So they're all long dead now. But yeah, I know Hoover had the warrant as well, and I don't know anything about these things. So it's just a theory. I'm probably totally wrong. Just ignore me. While we're here, got this little piston bag check indicator, and again, it's a bit like with the light that you would have on the top of some of the others. When you've got the hose plugged in at the back and you block it off, this like red line pops all the way to the top. So is it effective? Who knows? It's never going to see that much use. Again, inside, it is the same as we've seen previously. Got the bag. I need to get a donut, make a donut to put in that. But yeah, it's exactly the same. You've got the filters at the bottom. Yeah, it's pretty standard. Let's have a look at the date, and you won't be able to see it, so I'll just read it out to you. So I thought this was 90s, and it isn't. It's the 7th week of 1989. So, and it even says it's stamped NATO ref number year 1989. So you don't have to learn how to read serial numbers by this point. It's done for you. So I think, so this is 1055, and it's the successor to the 1010, which was burgundy. In the comments below, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm winging it here. So there was 1010 and 1020 that were the first, about 87, 88. I think this then came after 1055, and was it 1065 that I've seen on bag packets? So that probably would have been the same shape, but with a speed control. And I can't remember what colour they were. I'm not sure if I've ever seen one. Did they do a blue one? No, I don't know. I really don't know. And then these stopped, and then I'm led to believe there was a gap where Electrolux started bringing out things like contours and gliders or stuff like that. But early 90s, I think they came back with this. Again, please fill in the blanks because I can't remember the history. But this is a 1070, Z1070. And this one's dated from, I think, is it 92? Let me have a look. I should have done my homework better, shouldn't I? Yeah, 39th week of 1991. Yeah, 1991 this is from. So this, effectively, it's the same machine. This was like the last iteration of this design. I think it ran till about 96, did somebody tell me the other day? Like, I think they might have produced until 95, and then 96 was the last of the old stock that they were stamping with serial numbers. But that said, how do we know? Because remember, I've got a 345 that supposedly stopped production in 1981, and it's got a stamp of 1984 on it. So believe your eyes, don't believe what people tell you. Anyway, again, this is the same machine, very, very few differences. Instead of a nice little emblem and bit on the top here, you've just got a blank plate and a switch. But the rest of it's pretty much the same, although it has gone a bit more basic. There's no suction control where the hose goes in. So it's 550 watts or you turn it off. There's no in between. Same inside, plastic catch. Same bag full indicator. Underneath it's slightly different again. So it's kind of gone, this one in particular has gone back to the longer hose and the old style of base plate. But they both use the longer set of brush strips that you would get with a 506, 560, 550 and subsequent twin turbos. And they are a pain in the neck to get hold of. I had a packet recently which I needed for my 506. I think I got a couple of packets last year, so that did my 560 and my 550. Everything else that I've got where these match, they've got either the originals in or patent ones, and I can't even get any patent ones now. So this, unfortunately, because this has had a bit of a clean, but it's going to be my garage vac. So I've not gone mad scrubbing and bathing it or anything like that. I've wiped it all inside and stuck a radiator brush through the back of it to get rid of the carbon dust and stuff. I couldn't quite get the motor open. It's sort of rusted. The bottom bit is rusted. So I'm going to have to try and heat it up or something just to clean out that armature. Because it runs okay, but it could run smoother. This one was easier, and this is an older type of motor. This is like the original 500 series motor, but this one is slightly different. It's got 2 screws through the top, and it should come away in 3 parts, but I can only get the top bit off. Can't actually get into the bottom. You can tell it wants to move, but I haven't really got the strength to move it, and I was struggling a bit with my back, so I couldn't actually get sort of bent over and like try and force it sort of thing. So that's a job for another day. But on the tools and everything, it works fine. Like I say, it's got its original brushes, but I have taken one row out and I've got a spare beta bar set that fits this style of roller. So it makes a bit of a growl. If I could get a single strip of brushes, it would make a world of difference, because it does okay, but it's not great. Hence it going in the garage, because it will clean up those offcuts that I've got in there when I'm tinkering and there's like garden waste and stuff like that. Garden waste, not like loads of leaves, but you know, bits of grass or muck off the trail type of thing. So that will clean all that up nice and easily. So I'll give them a quick go. I'm not going to go mad doing all the rooms and everything. It's just so you can see them and hear them. They're nice. I'm glad I've got them. Glad I've done them. I don't know if I'll keep them, because I just don't feel the love like I do for the earlier sort. The earlier designs they just can't be beaten. These probably perform a little bit better because they're newer and some of the flaws have been corrected. And I don't knock them, I think they're fantastic. But I just don't have that romantic attachment to them. But I don't know. I didn't have a romantic attachment to the 303 about a year ago, and I've kept that, and now I wouldn't be parted from it. So who knows? Who knows? I quite fancy the idea of getting the earlier sort, so the 1010 or the 1020, just because I love the writing. If you go online and search that model number, they've got this kind of jazzy 80s twin turbo written on them, and I think on this bag hook here, a lot of drinks companies used to have all the gins and the vodkas and things had this, like, what was that one, Bezique or something? It used to have this jazzy kind of like lightning type writing, or very Dagmar, EastEnders second pub, I think it was. That was so 80s, and that writing just reminds me of that. But anyway, waffle, stop waffling, get on with it. So I'll get these plugged in, and just so you can hear them, with this one, 1055, you should really see that the carpet's been groomed. This one less so, because it needs the new bristles. But at least this one has got both hubcaps, so that is in its favour. But yeah, we'll give them a go. Perhaps I will fall in love with them one day, I don't know. But not at the minute. I like them, but I don't love them. Okay, so 1070 first, because this is the less effective one out of the two. Yeah, see, the motor's not too bad on that. It's got a nice quiet hum, which is exacerbated by the beta bar strip that's in it, which obviously these wouldn't have come with, but unfortunately beggars can't be choosers, and I've got to make use of what spares I've got. So yeah, it's nice. It'll do well out in the garage, and actually, because the suction at the back, in fact, let's do it. Plug the hose in. It holds its own hose up. It's quite strong, and because this is short, this might actually do quite well for doing the car. Because I've only got like a little Audi, so I don't need like some great huge thing. A Kraftwerk or whatever they're called, those little tin R2D2s. I don't need anything like that. So this would probably do all right for that. Don't need to worry too much about the floor cleaning aspect. But yeah, you got a view of that. Let's get the other one going, and you'll notice the difference and the sound as well. Okay, so pattern brushes, remember, pattern brush strip. So it will be a little bit noisier than normal. But it still works really good, and sometimes I have to adjust the suction control at the back because it really grips. But here we go. So you can see louder, and it makes that seem like it's more powerful. It's just, it's getting better contact with the carpet because it's got actual proper brush strips in it. I'm hoping, I really hope to hope. Hang on, let's try and bring you around this way. I want you to see, yeah, you can sort of see, the camera's crap, but it's really pulled the carpet. And actually, I was doing it from the chest of drawers backwards, which is kind of against the grain a bit. And even this bit here in the middle, which is flat, it's really, really groomed against the grain, which is fantastic. So I'm really delighted, actually, at the way that this performs. If I use it a bit more, it will probably grow on me and it will probably stay in my collection. But for now, I'll give it a bit of a breather, because she's probably worked more in this last week than she has in the last sort of 10-15 years. I think it was like well used and it was quite dirty, but everything was near enough still intact, so it was worth saving it, and it was worth it for the spares. So yeah, you can tell that I'm not really an expert. I can't waffle on too much about Turbo 2s. But I'm glad I've had a go, and I'm delighted with the result. And you know, if I come across one of the early ones, you might see that on here as well. But I think my heart lies with the earlier range. I'm definitely 70s, early 80s, but I'm happy to have this. And this is late 89, so it's still in the 80s. So in theory, it's not far off the mark. And it's still made really well. It's made a lot better than most things today. You've got a bag, so you don't have to look at what mess you live in, swilling about in the middle. But yeah, I'm not here to rant about that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Possibly it could be a candidate for trying out retro brighting, if I can be bothered. But like I say, it looks very 80s in its faded cream, very much of its time. So yeah, glad to have saved it.